Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie. I'm the author to The Nice Girl's Guide to Talking Dirty. I blog over at exploringintimacy.com, and I have one of the most wonderful jobs in the world as a professional sexuality educator. Right now, I'm here with you answering your questions on sex and relationships, thanks to the fantastic people over at funwares.com. And folks have been tweeting in questions like crazy. If you've got a question you want to tweet to me, I will make every effort to turn it into a video. Although I do get a lot of questions, I want to hear yours too. My Twitter name is Dr. Ruthie, DrRuthie, all one word. And I'm excited to hear from you. All right, I have one signed by somebody named Please Call Me Magpie. So Magpie, here we go. Dr. Ruthie, please help. Hot, heavy, and fast isn't working for me anymore. Have I fallen out of love in my relationship? Magpie, thanks for writing this to me. This is a wonderful question. And can I tell you whether you've fallen out of love? Not in 140 characters or less, I'm afraid. I would have to know a lot more about your situation. And in the end, it's really you who makes that decision, whether you or your sweetie have fallen out of love with each other, or sweeties, however many of them there are. But what I can do is tell you a little bit about normal expectations for what kind of sex will work for you at different parts in your relationship. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the word normal first. So when we're talking normal, that means generalities. There will be exceptions to this, of course, all over the place. But we're just going to kind of talk about the realm of what you could expect. And if you fall outside this, it doesn't necessarily mean bad, abnormal. It just means like you're maybe not in the majority that I hear about, but that doesn't mean you're in the like bottom 2% or something like that. It just is the wonderful diversity of human sexual experience. All right, that out of the way. The first 3 to 6 months or so that you're in a relationship, depending on whether you're face-to-face or long distance and these sort of different things where you are in the lifespan, there's crazy brain chemistry going on. Those really intense crushes, that mega lust, that obsessive preoccupation, that consistent like joy and heightened anxiety about the relationship. All of that is these hormones and chemicals going crazy in the beginning of a relationship. And what that can do for a lot of folks is, if that relationship is sexual, it means that the sex is hot, heavy, speedy, phenomenal. And I don't mean speedy as in not prolonged, because a lot of people are having, multi-hour phenomenal nights and weekends at sex at that point in time. Doesn't that sound wonderful? And some people are just having amazing quickies like crazy, but those multi-hour things can be a series of a lot of quickies with like makey outies and pizza time to kind of recover and then back into the sex again. So what we find is that because we have this rush of hormones and this rush of brain chemistry, oftentimes the best sex that we just really feel driven for is this immediate hard penetration kind of sex, regardless of what genders are involved. So heavy stimulation, oftentimes heavy penetration, and like kissing and making eyes at each other, on the way through the McDonald's drive-thru is like all the foreplay you need, or those sexy text messages, right? And then you get to bed or wherever you're having sex and boom, it's like you're ready, And this doesn't happen for everybody, but when it does happen, it frequently tends to be in that beginning of the relationship time period of 3 to 6 months. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It doesn't happen for everybody, but when we see it, it's commonly in that period of time. Then what happens? Those 3 to 6 months pass, and one partner, well, maybe both partners, are still trying to have sex the way you did in the beginning of the relationship, and it's just not working as well, especially if at least one of you are women. But this can happen for guy-guy relationships and all sorts of genders too. Just, speaking in generalities here. And what's gone wrong? Have I fallen out of love with this person? I'm not preoccupied with them. The things that made them absolutely darling are now starting to become a little bit irritating from time to time. And the sex isn't explosive anymore. Maybe I need to go to another relationship where the sex is explosive. And folks will oftentimes find themselves in this like cycle, right? Now, at least two things. We'll just talk about two different options, but where there's two, there's a million other options, as I always say. There's kind of two things that tend to be likely, if I'm just kind of speaking in generalities here still. One is that people discover that the relationship really never was meant to last, and they'll either drag it on or break up, but they know it's kind of over at that point. The other thing that happens is that people come to learn about each other on a deeper level adjust and decide that they want to be together, but they're going to learn how to grow together in the relationship now that the hormones and the chemicals aren't doing all their thinking and feeling for them. It could go either way. But regardless of which way you want to take that or some other sort of avenue, the sex will likely change. And sometimes you'll have that really amazing turn on level that happens, and you'll have that same kind of amazing sex again. But generally speaking, what you're looking at is transitioning into a period of more direct foreplay. So those couple of text messages and those smooches in the drive-thru line aren't doing it for you. But what a wonderful opportunity to explore each other's bodies in more depth and more detail and more excitement and more intimacy than you did before. You have the time, because your brain isn't pushing you forward so fast, to relax and really get to intimately know each other. That's a wonderful opportunity right there, don't you think? So you have that opportunity to do those things together. Now, this is not to say that just because in 3 to 6 months you're not feeling it, you should, invest in a deeper relationship. Maybe that's just it's run its course, and that's okay. Maybe you're not at the 3 to 6 month point and it's run its course, and that's okay. Or maybe you're at one of these transition points. And that means sitting down and saying, I love the sex we have. I want to broaden our sexual repertoire and have lots of different kinds of sex, including what we've been having. But I also want to really get to know you in a really sexy, deep, intimate manner. Let's explore a little bit, shall we? Let's try some new things, including really getting to know each other and how much pleasure we can give each other. So it's making those transitions. It doesn't necessarily mean you've fallen out of love, but in the end, you're the one who knows whether that's happened or not. I'm Dr. Ruthie. I hope this helps you out in making the decision about whether you're still in love or not, and I will see you at the next video.